Hey everybody, most of you know us, but for those of you who don't, we'll introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Tyrell Gill, the owner of Grit Movement and CrossFit Spearfish. My wife Stephanie and I co-own the place, and this is Gary Childers. He is a doctor in town,
Internal medicine.
doctor of being awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Dr. Awesome. That's what they call me. Yes, work out up here among a couple other places in town too, but it's a great place. And Tyrell and I have been friends for quite a while.
So we're just gonna, basically what we're doing here is we have some changes coming up with Grit Movement. You and I are always on the same page when we're having conversations. Pretty easy for me to talk to you, so I wanted to kind of do this like podcast style, and hopefully people will enjoy it.
You bet. So what we're really doing here is just really explaining some changes that's going to be happening in your business, right? Yeah. And you just wanted to kind of be able to talk people through it versus something like a text or a message in your website.
Well, I think first of all, we have some changes coming up, and I wanted to be able to talk to everybody individually if I could, but 50 to 60 people, I can't do that. You type stuff out on the computer, and you never know how to take a tone or anything like that, so I wanted to be able to express myself and be honest and just get some information out there, and hopefully that'll help people out.
Yeah, I think it's a better way to do it this way too, because we can kind of talk and go through some things, and we've had a lot of questions. You've had a lot of questions thrown at you. And we can kind of throw those back and forth, and which will generate more conversation about it. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So that's really mostly what we're doing here. So what kind of changes are you going to make from where you're at here now?
Yeah. So the big thing after April 19th, we're not going to be a CrossFit gym anymore.
Okay.
And that's been kind of some startling news for some people. We'll get into that, but we're going back to our Grit Movement name. Gonna be but kind of rebranding a little bit as Grit Movement Athletic Club. We've just got some really exciting changes, and I'm super happy about it, and I want to let people know about that.
Now, Grit Movement is something you started as sort of a blanket company that CrossFit, that you brought CrossFit underneath that, and so Grit Movement is not really something new to you. It's really actually something that that started this whole exercise workout facility that you have now, right?
Yeah. So I started this when we were in Chicago at Windy City CrossFit. I was coaching there. I knew I wanted to come back and open up a gym. I had this grand dream of how I wanted it, and we got some friends to help us start it. So we have a few owners, and really everybody puts in a lot of effort. We're kind of here on the ground, but I get some support from Justin Marcus at Windy City CrossFit, or Windy City Strength and Conditioning, and he's just been amazing. My friend Nate Cutler is an attorney in Chicago, and just an amazing guy. Just kind of the theme is all these people that I surround me with have always been uplifting and just helped me pursue some dreams. And then a great friend from high school, Will Ellsbury, helped us get it started as well. So between myself and Stephanie and those three, we hit the ground running, and it's been a lot of hard work, but it's been really good too. As it evolves, it's gotten better.
Good deal. So from right now, with the Grit Movement that you have right now, with the CrossFit underneath it, you're going to drop the CrossFit. How is it going to change here? What are you going to do different?
Yeah, and that's big for a lot of people. I've had a lot of people started because it was CrossFit, and that drew people in. And when I was the same story. I did my CrossFit workout the summer of 2008 in Fort Collins at Emergent Fitness, and it just throttled me. Just like everybody else, I fell in love with it. I got certified that summer and started coaching, and so I understand that that's really grabbed people, and CrossFit's just done a great job of marketing too. So getting people excited about CrossFit. Kind of a tangent there, but how things are going to change. Basically, we're still going to train people for CrossFit competitions or functional fitness competitions if that's what they're into. We've got 6 years just myself programming experience with that, some certifications in programming. We got Coach Sam is doing an amazing job too with programming. He's a little newer, but he's just got it down. Just real solid, great at research and putting that into a program. So we're going to train people for that. If that's their thing, that's awesome. I have no problems with that. But we're also going to have some different classes, you know, that we'll get into. But if people want to do CrossFit, there's still going to be training for that. You know, we're not going to call it, we can't really call it CrossFit, but we are training you for functional fitness competitions. And nothing's really going to change there. We're going to keep programming smart like we always have.
Okay. Explain to me functional fitness, because I know a lot of people hear CrossFit and a lot of people lift weights and a lot of people do kettlebells and some other different things, especially here in town. There's some great gyms here in town, Barefoot and then Downtown Gym and Full Throttle Fitness, and they're great places to go, and it's a different kind of workout.
Crow Peak CrossFit.
Crow Peak CrossFit, exactly. Crow Peak CrossFit does a fantastic job. A lot of my friends go there, and so it's a great workout all the way around, all over town. But at the same time, everybody's a little bit different. But you've mentioned this functional fitness thing 2 or 3 times. How is that different, and what exactly is that?
Yeah, man, that is that's just a giant couple of words, you know. So much has been put into that, and it's definitely evolved. So yeah, there are some great gyms in town. I just have a lot of respect for everybody doing their own thing, training people the way they want to train people. And you know what? They're getting some good results, and it's in a lot of different methodologies, a lot of different types of working out. And I've always been cool with that. If somebody's getting a good workout, they're getting better, they're happier, that's great. I want them to do that, whatever's best for them. So with that being said, functional fitness, for us, you know, everybody knows it's to make you better at life, to make you stronger, faster, healthier, make your life easier if you have to run from a bear type of thing. You know, you can do that to be prepared. More for us, as we've evolved over the last few years, it's become functional movements. You know, you think about your big lifts, your squats, your deadlifts, you know, even the Olympic lifts, you know, those still have some functionality. But it's been, what supplemental exercises do we need to add in to support those so that we can support our joints, support the high intensity that we want to have in our workouts while reducing injuries or eliminating them if we can. So that's been a big key thing that we've started to evolve. When I say smart programming, we're talking working on people's energy systems, not just smashing them every day with a test, with a Metcon. Making sure people are balanced. You know, looking at things like crossover symmetry and man, most of the injuries that we have is some sort of imbalance. Something's not working correctly. And if we put somebody into a workout, it's that high intensity. It's just a matter of time before they get some sort of overuse injury or something. So to me, that functional fitness is broad, but we're trying to make it smarter every day if we can.
Okay, so it's more of it's functional fitness is more about trying to keep you exactly what it says, stay functional to do what you want to do. And if Olympic lifting is what you want to do, or running is what you want to do, or biking, or anything, weightlifting, if that's your powerlifting, if that's your thing, the functional fitness aspect of it is not just to keep you functional through life, but to make it so that you're functional, so that you can do what you want to do, right? And so you're using the workout, the workouts that you build help are there to, well, they're there, like you said, support the ancillary muscles, the muscles that are around, and the joints that are around, and everything around, and the tendons and everything, and ligaments, so that you don't hurt yourself while you're trying to do what you really love to do. So it's more of a functional type workout to keep you doing what you want to do.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. Everybody has different interests and different sports and different events that they want to perform well at. So I've never believed that one cookie cutter program is the best thing for that person. If you're training for a mud run or fat loss or what do you call it, bike packing, 400-mile trip, for at least a portion of the year, you should be on an individual program. And that's some of our strengths too, is assessing people,
Mm-hmm.
seeing some of those imbalances, correcting them, and then getting them training in a specific way that's gonna elicit the responses that they need
Mm-hmm.
to do well at those events. And that's their life, that's to do well at life. So that's another good point, is the general physical preparedness is great for a lot of people, but I love when people want to come in and branch out and like, hey, I'm doing this 2-week pack trip through Yellowstone. Can you train me for that? And that kind of gets our goat.
There you go. All right,
Yeah.
terrific. Okay, so you talked about what you do here now. You've talked about how you're going to change things just a little bit, and what you're still going to be able to offer, and then what you're based on what you're doing now, but then also new stuff a little bit, how you're going to change it, how you can fine tune it and tweak it how you want it to go. So what does it mean for members? Like, there's people that are members here now that some of them are kind of panicking because they're, CrossFit, what's it going to be? Is this just going to be something I don't know? Or, what's it going to mean for the members? When some of the members that are here now, how are they going to see the change? Is the whole place going to change? Are you going to take down some of the racks that you got up, or is it going to look exactly like it is? Are you adding stuff in, or what's it going to look like?
Yeah, I think that brings up a couple good points. Like, one, people might think, oh, well, you're doing CrossFit, you're just not paying the affiliate fee and you're not calling it CrossFit. And that's not true. So that would probably be the first thing I want people to know. We've always programmed, I keep using this word smarter, and it's not going to mean a lot to everybody else, but there's been rest in our workouts. There's been ratios of work to rest, and there's been energy systems training and strength sessions. And I know CrossFit does all of that, but ever since we got here, we were kind of spitting our own brand of it, right? And so kind of when that main WOD on CrossFit.com was 5 rounds for time, or an AMRAP, or some days you might have your 7 singles of snatch that you do, or whatever it is. Like, we always had some rest in there. That's just one example. But we've always been as smart as we could about programming, and we continue to evolve with it. So it's going to be different, and that kind of brings me to the grit series we're going to do this summer too. That would fit right in there. So we live in a beautiful region in the Black Hills. There's so much to do outdoors, and people are super into it. It's that's why everybody loves to live here. We want to try to utilize that this summer. So right now we're working with the other coaches, programming a grit series. We're going to test and retest. We don't have all the details down yet, but think Crow Peak ascent with weight. We time it, we train, we retest it. Shorter distance things, up hills, kind of just that dirty, gritty, just getting down to business, that kind of density training that just shocks your central nervous system and just leaves you just kind of wondering what the hell happened, right? But with some smart training, and with some recovery in there, and with some nutrition advice along with that. So that grit series, we want to try to do over this summer when we got the weather. And I'm really hoping we can get some people in here to try it, because it's functional. It's our own, we're spitting our own brand. I'm excited about it. So more details to come on that for sure.
Okay, so it's kind of just to touch the surface again. It's gonna be something that you would work out here in the gym, so that you could take it out and do something outside with it too. So utilize what we got out there.
We'll still work out in the gym, but we're gonna be outside too. We're gonna be utilizing this area, and so I don't know how big of a tangent that was, but I think we were talking about how the changes for how it's going to change for members. So right now we have fitness and performance has been our group that's a little higher level, a little more complex. People that have been here a little bit longer, that are wanting to compete, and there's so many competitions out around now, which is great. We have Fitness in the Hills coming up this summer. It was a blast last year. So we're still going to have that class. We'll still have our fitness class, which is going to be our grit series that we're talking about. And then we have Pilates that Stephanie teaches, does an excellent job at. If you don't know what that is, as I sit up. It's core stabilization, spinal alignment. Joseph Pilates created it from a combination of his experience with gymnastics and dance, and it's an amazing combination. And we know that we need to stabilize the core before we get you doing a bunch of crazy shit in here, or we're gonna hurt something. So I love that. And then we're getting yoga here in the very, very near future, which I'm super excited about because I'm that guy that has to stretch for 20 minutes before I can touch my toes.
Absolutely, I'm 30 minutes. Yeah, so yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
So what else? We have a barbell club, Black Hills Barbell, that Sam heads up. Does a great job. A lot of research goes into that too. So that's the Olympic lifts.
So it's going to be a little bit of something for everybody, including the stuff to do outdoors. And again, it's going to be functional stuff. Everything some people are going to feel that, okay, for what I want to do, I like to bike, so I'm going to be doing something that's going to help me do my distance biking versus my uphill biking versus mountain biking, whatever I've got to do. And I can tailor some stuff in here to fit it, including the core stabilization stuff with the Pilates and the weightlifting and the other stuff. But there's going to be a whole a group of things that we can jump into.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think eventually we'd like to get to where our doors are open throughout the day. You know, not quite 24 hours, but give people an opportunity to get in here outside of class times, do their own thing if they want to, do an individual program if they want to, and not have to get into those class times. So that's something I'm working hard on to get done soon as well.
Okay. One question that keeps coming up. Some people are really, really into this CrossFit Open, and they really love being involved in that. Real quick, explain to us exactly what the Open is, and then tell us about whether that's still going to be around or not.
Yeah, the CrossFit Open is an amazing thing. Again, another thing that CrossFit they evolved and made it better every year, and I don't even remember. I don't know. I'll have to look how many hundreds of thousands of people did it this year, but it's 5 weeks, one workout a week. You get 3 or 4 days to get the workout done. You're either in a CrossFit affiliate that is registered, they can judge you, and then you submit your score to a leaderboard each week. It shows you where you're at in the world, in the region, in the state, in your gym. Or you could submit a video, send that in, they have somebody go through and check all those out. So basically over 5 weeks, they take the top athletes from the Open, then go to regionals in the summer, spring, and then in July, I think it is, they're usually out in California, and that's the CrossFit Games you see on TV. So what's cool is everybody gets to do it.
Everybody's got a shot at it, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, and really it's about the community coming together, and I couldn't tell you the amount of PRs that we see from people. See people getting bar muscle ups that haven't even tried them, and it just pushes people to that next level, gets them out of their comfort zone a little bit, which I like. I really like that about it, and the fact that it brings everybody together. So that kind of can transition into something too. People are wondering, I still want to compete in the CrossFit Open. If you aren't a CrossFit gym, how are we going to do that? There's 2 ways you can do it. You can video it and send it in, like I said. Usually you still have a judge there so you don't miss some reps or something. And then send it in. It's not terribly hard. We got our smartphones. And if you don't want to do that, you can go to another CrossFit affiliate. Maybe you can ask Crow Peak CrossFit or Sturgis CrossFit or Black Hills or Rushmore, Archaic. Maybe ask them if you can come over and do it, or maybe we can take a group over there. It's really an easy workaround. And at the end of the day, it's not about like having to take a video and send it in, being a pain. It's about, this is one of your goals. We trained you hard to get here, and now you're going to test, and you're going to put it all out there, bust your ass, and see what happens.
You bet. So people can still come in and say, hey, the biggest reason I want to be here is because I love to do CrossFit workouts and I want to be in the Open. And you can burn them through it here, and then we can all go up to whoever it is. You could take the whole group up to Crow Peak CrossFit if you wanted to, or Sturgis or wherever, and take them through the whole workout up there and let them judge it up there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's an easy workaround. I'm not too worried about it.
You bet.
Life's too short to be worried all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about that a zillion times. Okay, so is there, if there was one thing that you're going to tell people, is there any one or two things that you would say that we haven't touched on here yet about the changes that are going to be happening?
Yeah, definitely. We're always on the same page. That's why I like talking to you and why this is so easy. So I think the biggest thing is why, and we've had conversations on why, and starting in there in that small part of the circle with people, why they want this instead of the what, and working your way in. So really, this was like very, very personal for me. We had, and that's another thing we could probably talk about, is any issues, positive or negative, with CrossFit, because I know people have been asking me that too. So, but for me, the biggest thing was I came out here and I started this gym, and I say I, but I had a lot of help. I just put a lot of time in, and I built it the way I wanted it, and I modeled it after Windy City CrossFit, which had a great model for them. And it was great because it was really close to my why, I guess, or like my passion. I knew I was passionate about it. And then as we got here over time, and hopefully all of us over time start to learn a little bit more about why we're here, how we're supposed to help people. And when you get disconnected from that, it's super tough. Like, I don't have a lot against CrossFit, but there was just times when I was in here and I'm thinking, man, what am I doing in here? This doesn't feel like me. And I knew people around me could feel it, because I didn't have that energy that I had before. And it wasn't like you're waking up just ready to go in the morning. I got to that point where I was like, what am I doing? Yeah, what we're doing is good, but I want something better, or that reflects my values more. And so that was the biggest thing, just kind of getting down to what felt like bottom for me. And I was like, man, I've got to change. And so I had some great friends and mentors helping me. Dave from Track Athletics and Justin from Windy City were just huge in helping me find my why, I guess. And it was like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And as soon as I found out that you don't have to know what your purpose is, but you can find it, as soon as I knew that, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like, I thought this was just the way I had to do things, but it was really like a typical, like, can't see the forest through the trees type of deal. I mean, I'm kind of paraphrasing that, but once I could step back, I was like, oh man, I can be me. I can throw this out there. I can be honest with people, and if they like it, they're gonna come to me, and if they don't like it, they're gonna go somewhere else, and that's fine, because somebody else matches up with what they want, or their values better. So that was a big thing with the changes. I realized I don't want to be a CrossFit gym anymore. I want to train athletes for that because it still interests me. But I started this because I felt like at first it was my dream, and I had a lot of great help with it, and I made it the way I wanted, and then I changed, I evolved, I got into my why more, and I'm still figuring it out. I don't know why I'm here, to help people and to be a good person and be cool to people and take care of my family. But so that's kind of how it evolved. I've been evolving. I want a brand that's me and reflects our values, and that's where the change came from. CrossFit is great. That's Greg Glassman's baby, right? That's his why and his purpose and his passion, and he's fought hard over the years to do it exactly the way he wants, and I really respect him for that, because he never swayed, whether he was right or wrong. He never swayed from what he wanted, and man, he built it the way he wanted, and that's the way everybody should go about it. What do you really want your business to look like?
Absolutely. Well, that's great. I think because everything that you go through in life, whether it be as far as the workout world goes, or if you just use that as an example, you learn from every little contact that you make, and you learn from everything that you do, and you pick up all of this experience and this knowledge, and then you take it yourself and you morph it, or you change it to what you feel like is going to be best served for you, or in your case, for everybody else, by what you're doing. and then you take that and you run with it and you go with it. And I think that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're putting a round peg in a round hole and a square peg in a square hole. You're sitting on an assembly line your whole life because you're doing what somebody else is telling you what to do. And that doesn't motivate anybody to keep going. It doesn't. Everything stops, in my opinion, after that. If you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, your body doesn't do well with it when you're working out. Everybody knows you do the same workout every day for the rest of your life. Everything stays exactly the same. Until you change it. You got to put that little bit of stress in there, and then everything starts working again. So I think that's exactly what you're doing now. You're just putting a little bit of stress on your whole system here as far as like what you're doing in your workout thing, and something's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it is. If you're waking up every day and you're not happy with what you're doing, and you're feeling kind of depressed or sad, or that sounds so pathetic, but if everyone's being honest with themselves, they have moments like that at least some point in their life. And I just feel like it's so huge for people to know you don't have to know your purpose right now, but you can find it.
That's right.
And just keep asking yourself, what do I want?
And it changes. That stuff changes. Your purpose and your goals and everything change.
Absolutely.
And when they change, you got to change to go after them. If you stay where you're at just because you're comfortable, then everything's going to suck.
We have to be constantly evolving, and we have to constantly have an open mind. That's what I look for in coaches when people come in and want to coach. And we have some great coaches now and just some great personalities. Is how open is your mind? When people are like, this is the way to train and that way is dumb. I can't stand that because it's not right. There's better training programs for different people. And that's why I don't care what people are doing here in Spearfish or anywhere else in the world for that matter. As long as they're getting some results, they're liking it, good for you. You're doing something, because most of the population doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
But if we all were a little more open-minded, we'd probably work together better. We would learn more. Society would benefit.
It would help all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's a huge thing to a point to make right there, is that you're not here to push anybody else out, and you're not here to push anybody else down. What you're here to do is to help the people that want to be helped through what you're doing. And if they don't like what you're doing, or that they feel like they're being helped from someplace else, that's great, man. Run at it and keep going, because that's where they need to be. That's it.
I need the people here that like our style of programming and my Tyrellness.
Whatever that may be. Exactly.
It's just your name and you add Ness to it. And that's just your aura. And everybody's got that. So
you bet.
There's plenty of people here for everyone.
You bet.
And we're all helping people, so that's great.
Absolutely. Okay, last thing, which may be edited out, but I'm going to ask this anyway just to see how this comes out and see what you say about it. Okay, part of the reason that some of the people are here that are not here, that are at other places, part of the reason that some of the people are at another gym in town, whether it be Crow Peak CrossFit or Downtown Gym or Barefoot or whatever, Full Throttle, any of the other gyms, is the cost. How does the cost come into play, and is that going to change when we go to Grit Movement? Or when you go to Grit Movement? Obviously, when this changes to Grit Movement, are you going to change the cost structure, or will there be different ways that people could work with that? I don't know. Help me
Boy,
out.
you just sucker punched me with that one.
That was a swift kick to the groin right there.
Why don't you just take me out back, kick me in the nuts, and we'll call it good. That is a good question, and it's I don't know, elephant in the town or whatever.
Yeah.
I hate that saying. It is what it is, but it is what it is, and it's kind of just something. We're all functioning in different ways with our businesses, and we're like I said, we're continuing to evolve. With our level of coaching, the combined experience, we got a wall full of certifications down there, and I know certifications don't mean anything, but we have them. I really, really know that the service we're giving people has a lot of value to it. And to me, I want to help people from the physical standpoint and the mental standpoint, because they go together. So if you come in and we talk and we get down to your why and you say, man, I'm just tired of being this way and it affects my life this way, I say, this is what we can do to change it, Gary, and are you willing to do that? And this is what it costs. And if it's worth enough to people, and we connect and they get what we're doing and we can help somebody, it's of value to them. For other people, it's just it might not be worth it to them, and that's fine. But what I would say is, as a human being, we should get used to trying all sorts of different things and find out what we like. Mm-hmm. When we're kids, we play all sorts of different sports, and then we find out, hey, I'm good at basketball and I like it, so I stick with it. Or gymnastics, if you've got a stud daughter. So try out different gyms. See which one you fit at. That's my biggest thing. If anybody comes in here, well, how are you different from so and so and so and so? And I don't talk about what they do because I don't know 100%. But I tell them, why don't you go try them both and see which one you like. Mm-hmm. I'm not scared they're gonna go someplace else instead of here. That's just how I operate. Mm-hmm. So long story short, I think we will have some trial period rates for this grit series because I'm so excited about it, and I think it's going to be badass, and I'm going to be doing it myself. Mm-hmm. Just a good combination of that gritty, dirty work, some strength stuff, and so there'll probably be like some discounts and stuff for that. I just encourage people to try it, and this is not a pitch for the gym, but try stuff.
Right, you bet.
Yeah.
Well, I think the important thing too, and you and I have talked about this, but I've also talked with Jesse over at Downtown Gym and some of the other guys in town that have the other gyms, not as much, but I think one of the important things is too that you offer, that the other gyms do too, is that it's a lifestyle. It's not a workout, it's a lifestyle. And so when you get in and you come to a place like this and you really get into the workouts and you really get into what people are doing here and you really get into the conversations and the nutrition and the other stuff like that, again, just like some of the other places I've worked at, it's the same thing. If you really get into it and you make the lifestyle change to make that work, the X amount of dollars a month just seems to be inconsequential. It's completely, it doesn't matter.
Healthcare costs later on in life.
Exactly. I mean, the changes you're making in your life help you mentally, physically, health-wise down the road. Everything, it's huge. So to say that, oh, this is how much money it is, if you can pay X amount of dollars and run over to the rec center, and I'm not bashing the rec center, but if you run over to the rec center and go through a circuit over there and do your little circuit over there and run through it and then come back.
And maybe you don't know what to do.
And you don't know what to do, but you're going through the machines and you're not getting injured and things are okay. Yeah, that's fine. But have you really made that commitment, that lifestyle change commitment, that I'm working out, I'm getting better, I'm pushing myself to the next level, I'm doing things I never thought I could do, that sort of thing. That's where the cost of the membership, I think, really comes down to. It's like that, how much am I getting out of it?
Yeah.
$20 a month to run over there and go through a circuit? Or X amount of dollars here, or in the other gyms, it's a little bit more because you're getting something out of it. And when you go home, you want to eat better because you've just worked out good and you've got this thing in your head that I've changed my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's about. I think that's why the money, it ought to be put in people's lives and people's budget. It should be there because it's their life.
Man, that's a whole nother. We got to start a podcast.
Yeah, we do.
This would be your baby.
I could go into that for hours. I have with you until you fall asleep.
The healthcare costs of open heart surgery or something. Maybe we'll look at that. But that's a really good point.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we covered the questions that people had.
Very last thing I thought of. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I think I want to talk a little bit about CrossFit and the good and the things I don't like quite as much. Mm-hmm. And it's my opinion, and I still love it. Still love the sport. We're gonna be training people for those types of competitions. I'll start with what I like. I do think they've revolutionized the fitness industry. There's been powerlifting days, gymnastics days, where we saw those different gyms. Maybe Olympic weightlifting is up next, but CrossFit really did an amazing thing in that it got people in the gym the hardcore type of people that are there first, and then the people that wouldn't be in a gym otherwise because they just never liked them. They never liked the idea of it. It didn't work out for them. They had a bad experience, whatever it was. They're in the gym, and that's freaking amazing. Because we're getting people in there that have been sitting on the couch for 15 years, and they're getting into the community, and they're making themselves better. So that's great. We're helping people. There's also been those same people that probably, could have probably got injuries, but you also look at like the demographic that we're pulling from. These people haven't been doing anything. And if they come in and probably, if they aren't assessed, if they aren't given an individual program for a while for them to get some issues corrected, if they are thrown into a high intensity workout, yeah, probably little tweaks, major injury, something might happen. So that is an amazing thing that they've done, is getting people in there. I also think it's, this is kind of funny, not funny, but ironic that, I think all the physical therapists, chiropractors, different people, because these people are up and moving and worrying about their health and not even worrying about the injuries, I think they're getting more business too. So fitness and health as an industry, it has opened people's eyes a little bit, and it's got people doing stuff. So it's great. And the only bad things that I don't like is just the way it's set up with the Olympic lifts for time. I'm not totally 100% against that. I know a lot of people have problems with that. It's not the way the sport was designed. Overuse injuries, different people dropping bars on themselves. We see that in the Olympics though too with 1 rep maxes. Anyway, where was I going with this?
CrossFit, what you don't like about it, what you do like about it.
Oh, for time. So, if I have somebody that's been in here for 3 years, we've taught them how to pack their shoulders correctly. We've got a good externally rotated shoulder. Like, we got all this stuff in line for their snatch, right? I am fine with putting them through a Grace or Grace or Isabel. 30 snatches for time, 30 clean and jerks for time. Because they're going to be able to do it correctly, and they're going to set their shoulder correctly every time. They're going to do some things right. Is that the right thing for that person that just came off the couch? We put them through 4 weeks of foundations. I don't believe so. And I don't think that's necessarily CrossFit's fault. It's just the way the workouts are set up. It's the pressure of your peers being around that you want to try this stuff even when you're not ready. And so I think that's where a great coach comes in, with their ability to not care if they piss off their client, but say, look, you aren't ready for this. We need to work on your overhead squat before you even think about doing this, or your shoulder mobility, or your ankle mobility isn't there, right? So it's just like anything else. Any sport, there's good and bad coaches, and mediocre and great and world class. Some of these injuries and different things on the high rep, high intensity stuff have just come because people weren't ready for it, and somebody didn't stop them and make them go through some correct progressions, or tell them like, hey, this isn't for you at all. But then there's some great coaches out there that are doing that around this area. There's excellent coaches. So that's a big thing people need to realize. CrossFit isn't bad. It's just you need to find some damn good coaches, and you need to walk in there with an attitude that I'm here to better myself. I'm here to train. I'm not here to try to push and keep up with that 18-year-old and hurt my shoulder on a snatch that I shouldn't even be doing because I've only been here for 4 weeks. Like, have the attitude of, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to ask questions, and I'm going to have fun. So
I think that's huge, and I think it comes back to what you said we talked about at the very beginning, the why. Why are you here? Are you here to compete in CrossFit? Or are you here to get in shape? Are you here to lose some weight? Are you here to functional fitness because you want to be a better biker or runner or whatever else?
Yeah.
Why are you here? What's the purpose of you being here? And I think that's a huge thing about getting into the gym and learning exactly whether, again, this gym, any gym, to get into here or wherever and say, okay, why am I doing this? And one of the guys here who hardly ever worked out in the past, and I won't mention his name, but he came up to me actually one day, and I've done a lot of workouts for a ton of years, And I was doing some stuff, and I said something about, whatever, I can't do this, or I want to do this, or whatever. And he said, well, it really comes down to exactly why you're here, Gary. Are you here to get in shape and stay in shape? Or are you here to be able to do that? Or are you here to compete? Because I've never done the open. I've done the workouts for the open, but I've never thrown my name in there. But I like to do the workouts and just kind of see where I sit, And that hit me. I got home that night. I thought, that's exactly right. He's got it right on track. He came in to get in shape and lose weight, and he did. That's what he's doing. When the lifts and the other stuff and the for time and all that stuff comes up, he doesn't push himself to the point of injury, or he doesn't do the lift that he knows he can't do very well. Cuts the weight in half, does whatever he's got to do, but he stays healthy, and he's doing exactly what he's in here for. Mm-hmm. And it works great, and which is exactly what you're talking about.
Perfect attitude.
Yeah, that's it. It's the why that you want to be here for. Mm-hmm. So I'm like you. I've got some stuff about CrossFit I'm not crazy about, but I think they've done a phenomenal job with the fitness industry and the functional fitness industry.
It's been a benefit, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody's learned a lot of stuff from it. But, I think that you can say that about just about any fitness club or workout program out there. Mm-hmm. It's got its good stuff and it's got its bad stuff. Find the good stuff and go with it.
So many businesses, this video is going to get long, but so many businesses have branched off of CrossFit and had their start that it's amazing. So many small business owners are getting to live their dream or some version of it. Mm-hmm. I get so many calls and emails trying to sell me the newest giant gym fan or the WOD grips so you don't tear your hands, and just the craziest stuff you could ever think of. Amazing companies have been born, like OPEX Fitness, formerly OPT. They do an amazing job training coaches and training athletes for the games. A perfect example of, they train athletes and they have several games athletes and teams. They do it their way. James was the first CrossFit Games winner back in like 2006. I've met him a couple times. I've been through their level 1. There's 4 classes in their level 1 certification, or 5. I've been through 4 of them. But they've just revolutionized how we train people. It used to be aerobic was, okay, go run or go get on this bike for 20 minutes. And now we can train energy systems with different movements as long as it's safe for that individual. And so they've just been instrumental OPEX has been instrumental in evolving the sport. Mm-hmm. And the way people train for it. Mm-hmm. So it's not just bam, bam, bam all the time. Mm-hmm. So just a lot of great things, really.
Yeah. Well, I think it's exactly what you're doing now. I think what you're doing right now, you're changing, you're evolving, you're doing your business a little bit different because you feel like you've learned what you need to learn here, and you're kind of getting to a point where things are leveling out. It's not stagnating, but it's not growing. Yeah. And you're not getting more out of it, and the people aren't getting what you want them to get out of it. So you're going to change yours to take it to the next level, which I think is a great thing. I think it's a great thing. Okay.
Sums it up. That's good.
I think so.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
It's always a good chat.
Good stuff, always.
Till next time.
Okay, till next time.